we have Tyler Algier of the Atlanta Falcons, Ray Davis of the Bills, Jaxson Dart of the Giants, or Noah Gray of the Kansas City Chiefs. So a bunch of different positions here. Let's put them in the bag. Which handcuff would you rather target in Scott Fishbowl 15? Eric, you going with the quarterback, one of the running backs, or the tight end in this tricky scoring format for 2025?
Of the list of handcuffs, I will choose the one that is not a handcuff. Jaxson Dart, the presumed and in my mind rightful starter for your New York Giants. I don't think that he is in handcuff territory whatsoever. There's a non-zero chance that he ends up starting the year as the starting signal caller for the G-Men. And in the event that he doesn't, I don't think it's going to be very long before we see him under center. So I will happily select Jaxson Dart of this lot.
Listen, I've had to roll with Noah Gray the last few years here as a spot starter in Scott Fishbowl. And now that we're getting even a little bit more of a sweetener out there as well for the volume merchants. Not that Noah Gray's a volume merchant, but this is a guy who, at least previously, I don't know if it'll be the same with Hollywood Brown, Xavier Worthy, Rashee Rice. Now we also have a young buck and Jalen Royals coming in as well. I don't know if he'll get the same volume, but if he can still get, 3 to 5 targets per game, roll in 3 or 4 of those for 30, 35 yards, maybe a touchdown every fourth game, I might be in on Noah Gray here. Am I crazy, Steve?
Yeah, you are. I mean, I don't want to be mean.
You want to sit on Jaxson Dart in
it's not sitting on him. He's clearly the best quarterback there.
I think
what we need to realize is that he is going to play because this coaching staff has no choice but to play him and show that they can develop him. They are coaching for their jobs, and there is nothing that will stop them from being like, you know what, look at the leash that we should get because Jaxson Dart's developing. We're making progress with him. Do you want to stunt your new quarterback's growth? And a starting quarterback in Scott Fishbowl is still more valuable than every other position just about. And Jaxson Dart is going to be he's a mobile quarterback. I love my mobile quarterback. So he's just going to rack up the points. He has Malik Neighbors. He has Tyrone Tracy. He's got Slayton. He's got Robinson. There's
Cameron Scadaboo, yeah.
I don't count him. There's plenty of weapons on this offense for him to use and put up points with. So I am not going to bypass him because of Russell Wilson, like the corpse of Russell Wilson. I'm not worried about it.
In the past, I've been all in on this type of quarterback. I drafted like Justin Herbert, 17th round of Scott Fishbowl, just to think, hey, maybe he'll get the chance. Wasn't expecting, Tyrod Taylor to take a puncture to the lung for it to make it happen so quickly. I just think that it might be a longer runway for Russell Wilson than potentially we're thinking, particularly if he's winning. So I just don't know in this format, in this iteration of Scott Fishbowl, where quarterback's a little less valuable. I would rather potentially have someone like a tight end that I can maybe count on to get me a little bit of volume in a spot start. But more than anyone, probably, thinking about it, Tyler Algier, if you're drafting Bijan Robinson at the 101, you have to draft Algier. You have to get him around early at least too to make sure that you're getting him. So I think Algier is probably the best handcuff in my opinion in this slot for Scott Fishbowl. But even Ray Davis right now, Eric, to round it out, he's someone that he's a straight lottery ticket right now because there is the James Cook contract negotiations. He could sign and be happy. He could take no deal and he's had to sign, show up anyways to avoid getting fined because he can't afford that fine right now as a day 2 draft pick. But either way, Ray Davis potentially a nice lottery ticket while Algier is just, he's your steady backup pretty much all season long.
Yeah, I would actually, if we're going to exclude this list down to just handcuffs or kind of flyer options, I would actually have Ray Davis number 2. He showed me some interesting things on tape last year, and kind of like you were talking about with the James Cook contract situation. There's certainly an outcome where he gets more work, on the front end because they believe that they don't have a long-term asset in James Cook. Or, if nothing else, we see him work his way and whittle his way into a bigger workload as the season goes on. So I would have Ray Davis as my second choice here, followed by Algier, and then your guy, Mr. Gray as the last option. I don't know where you're getting this volume concept from,
dude.
Unless you're playing like in a points per snap kind of scoring wrinkle, the volume isn't there for Noah Gray. He's on the field a ton. He doesn't get a lot of looks.
So you're telling me I'm the only sicko in the lot here who was betting like the Noah Gray over 2 receptions sometimes in my parlays last year?
No, but 2 receptions isn't volume. What are we talking
Dude,
about?
it's volume for tight ends who like you're scared.
That's problem is that he has the volume. Like he's never really learned how to work the volume on his own TV. It's because he's like an old man. He looks at it. He's like, how does this work? Volume.
All right, Steve, real quick, rank these guys in order. For me, I would go Algier, Ray Davis, Noah Gray, Jaxson Dart.
I would go Dart, Algier, Davis, Gray.
Okay. Awesome.